Hey everyone, we sound like the Jug Gamer here, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time, we had a very big discussion, or I guess I should say speech, about what art is. And I needed my voice to recover from that. That was a pain. But, this time I forgot exactly what we're doing. Rin leads me outside to the wall behind the dormitories. There's a small back gate there, made from the same wrought iron as the main gate. It leads to the shadowy woodland park behind the school. The gate is rusty, as if it hasn't been much use. However, it sits open, so we pass through. It's not forbidden for students to leave the grounds, but somehow I feel a little uneasy. A path leads deeper into the forest. Tails are carved and maple trees rustle in the wind. The canopies creating patches of chill air hanging in places where the shadows fall. The forest smells strongly of earth. I must feel cold, even though the midsummer day is as hot as ever. Rin trudges ahead like a sleepwalker, sure-footed but with no apparent destination in mind. Her thoughts seem to be somewhere else. I fall a few steps behind, taking more care to watch where my feet land. The path follows the land uphill at a low angle, sometimes making little detours downhill before climbing back upward. The muted brown and gray trunk line, the path on both sides, peppered with ferns and other overgrowth. After a little while, I started to get worried. The path is still wide and clear, so there's no chance of getting lost, but it doesn't look like we have any particular destination. There's nothing wrong with a bit of aimless wandering around, but I don't want to go so far that I get too tired to walk back. I'm starting to get a little winded and my legs feel heavy. I want to stop and get a chance to catch my breath and rest my legs, but Rin keeps going. Where are we going? Are we going anywhere at all? Worry tree. I see. So what exactly is the worry tree? It's just a tree, like this. Southern front of a particularly large maple that might or might not be the worry tree. Its lush green leaves sway lightly in the breeze, blowing through the small clearing we entered. Yeah, I guess as much. There are people who believe that you must come here to wallow in misery if you are miserable. Only by people, I mean me. The tree isn't really called anything. So if you're miserable, you talk to a tree about it? No. What? You don't talk to trees. What do you think I am? Crazy? No, I didn't mean it like that. Or maybe you talk to trees. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that you are crazy, even though you probably are if you talk to trees. I wouldn't recommend it in either case. People will think you're a weird person. No, I... just forget it. She looks mildly confused, for which I don't blame her at all. She tilts her head a little to the side, expression melting back to her usual one. Alright, I'm good at forgetting things. So why are we here? Are you miserable then? I can't read the expression she makes. I hate how bad I am at interpreting Vin's mood. She doesn't answer right away, as if she herself isn't quite certain of her own mood. Blank stare changes into a more difficult expression as she shuffles her weight around. Finally coming to a conclusion, Vin shrugs her shoulders. I groan to seriously dislike that gesture. It doesn't mean anything. Maybe I feel like I'm kind of sinking underwater. I don't know what I should do. I don't know where I should go, that's all. Maybe it's not a big deal, but I thought walking might help. Kind of like if I go somewhere, I know where I should go. I don't really know if it did. It really would have made sense if walking had helped to decide where to go. So you don't want to try an exhibition? Or rather, you don't know if you do? Can't decide? Ray doesn't say anything for a while, arranging her thoughts in silence. The quiet is broken by bird songs from somewhere in the treetops, followed by rustling leaves as the birds take flight. Maybe. I'm not sure if I can have a thing like that. So far, I've only paid it for myself. Oh, why am I yawning? God. Seriously, it's 3 p.m. Why am I already yawning? I haven't done that much today. I don't think I could have my things on display the way I am now. This me couldn't do it. Her reason sounds like a weak excuse. Make my trademark frown, but she doesn't notice it. I don't get it. The teacher certainly thinks you could. I don't think he suggested otherwise. Sounds like he's calling it favors from his friends, too. I know. He's really done a lot for me. But this might be too much. Becoming someone who can do it might be pretty hard. Maybe I can't do it at all. He can't do it for me, and if I let him try, I just sink deeper and deeper. He stands in front of the large maple tree and turns away from me. I want to close a few feet of distance between us, and I don't know. The irritation is suddenly gone, and I start feeling sympathetic to her. I know exactly how you feel. Well, maybe I don't, but still. I think I haven't felt like I was actually in control of my life this whole year. I'm just helplessly going along with the flow. Like coming to this school, didn't really choose it myself. And I certainly didn't choose this time of my life to learn that I have this condition. I still can't casually say the word aloud. It's like, yeah, it's like being underwater. Like I can't even breathe. And turns to face me again, sad expression on her face. Is that why you look so sad all the time? I don't want to look sad like you. Do I look to you like you look to me? I don't look sad all the time. I just don't know what I should be feeling. What kind of face should I be making? Me neither. Do I look sad now? Not really. You look like you always do, I think. But I'm thinking. Um, I should try to float up. Like a rubber duck. Quack, quack, all yellow and creepy. Okay, so that was a glitch. I have to think a few seconds about which direction I should pursue in this conversation, then realize it doesn't matter. You think rubber ducks are creepy? You don't? I think they look very creepy. Everything that has eyes but isn't alive is very disturbing. Why am I yawning? That has eyes but isn't alive is very disturbing, like rubber ducks and reflections in mirrors. She floats down to the first bed, leaning on the maple she named the worry tree. After wondering what to do for a minute, I sit down too, 3 feet apart from her. The forest envelops us in its embrace, and the stillness falls upon the two of us. We sit there without speaking for a long while. I can literally feel the time passing. Patches of sunlight litter the small clearing and a pattern that echoes the maple canopies. One of them falls directly on me, warming me all the way to the bone. I wonder what I could do for myself, and maybe for Rin. For now, I just keep watching her from this distance. Sometimes she cranks her head and neck all the way back to so much that it looks almost painful. Stares up at the small patches of sky visible past the canopy of the worry tree. Sometimes she just stares blankly ahead, as if seeing something just beyond her reach. She keeps whispering to herself, but so quietly that I can't hear her, even though I'm sitting right next to her. I only see her lips moving, like she was in the middle of a distant dream. I realize that right now, I no longer feel any of the intense loneliness I feel at night, but just before falling asleep. I might be more like Vin than I thought. I can either give up and stay submerged under the weight of all this in my life, or try to change myself for the better. Her decision is different, yet the same. And unlike her, I know for sure that I can't stay like this forever. I have to change. I want to be more like Vin. Wait, shit, I messed up my whole joke! I want to be more like Emmy! No, I want to be more like Vin. Vin could possibly do it. Even though she seems to doubt herself, I have no doubts about her strength. She could do it, even if she can't. Makes me feel a little bit better, too. I lean back against the tree, breathing out deeply as if for the first time in a long time. We stay that way in the small clearing until the angle of sun changes and the chilly shadows deepen. No longer warm where we sit, we leave the forest, returning along the same path we took coming in. Does it seem like Grin has come to a conclusion, or to a decision? What if it was a bad idea for me to come along? It's alright, I don't mind. I'm sure the cheese and dirt and rocks won't mind either. Did you mind? No, not at all. I think it helped me too. I wanna be more like you. Wanna walk like you. Talk like you too. Well, we walk back towards the dormitories. The sky. I'm gonna stop. I don't actually know that song as well as I think I do. The sky is changing to a deep ultramarine. The first summer stars twinkle softly from between spots in the canopy, barely visible like tiny fireflies. I became very self-conscious about Rin's presence. I haven't thought much about girls since things fell apart with Iwanako. This was kind of the same situation as then, but to be honest, I don't think really counts for much. Not with Rin. And yet, it feels good walking next to her. Even if it isn't any more than this. At first, I think Rin agitated me quite a bit with her unpredictable behavior. But recently, I feel I haven't had to be one on my toes so much. I've managed to let myself go a little. Makes me feel satisfied. Even though ultimately, I think it's more thanks to Rin than myself. She seems to be disinterested in a huge number of things. But something in her makes me try harder than I normally would. It's not that I want to impress her. I think that truly impressing Rin would take near superhuman effort just because of how she is. Instead, it's because there is this restlessness, relentless feeling inside me that I shouldn't let Rin down. It's really weird. I wonder why I started thinking like that. I don't even know what sort of expectation she has about pretty much anything. So how can I let her down? Rin has an unassuming air around her, and she doesn't really talk about stuff very often. Even today's conversations of her self-doubt caught me a little bit off guard. I feel like I want to talk more with her. The realization suddenly dawns on me that Rin is basically the only person I talk to nowadays. Apart from whatever I have to endure from Shizune, Misha, or Kenji. I feel slightly depressed. In front of the dormitories, as if summoned by my dark thoughts, we run into Kenji! Oh no! Feels very odd seeing him outside, breathing fresh outdoor air. At least it's already dusk. I partially expect Kenji would disintegrate upon direct exposure to the sun. Kenji himself seems very insecure as well, standing around looking like he's waiting for something, but doesn't know himself what it might be. Hey Kenji, what are you doing? Hello. Who are you? This is super high tension, Jesus Christ! It's me, Hasao. I'm not sure if you know Tezuka from class 3-4. I'm afraid I can see that not only he doesn't know Vin, he also can't see her from this short distance. Oh, sup dudes! Kenji sticks his hand enthusiastically forward, almost straight to Vin's stomach. We look at his outstretched hand in confusion, and Kenji clears his throat and rechecks his hand. There's something almost cool that he managed to do with social awkwardness. It's not like I'm the most suave man on the planet, but I don't think I'd ever be able to even approach Kenji's level. I think I respect Kenji a little bit more. So you were waiting for someone? He leans closer and lowers his voice to an agitated whisper. See his facial muscles twitching. Come on, man. You know I can't talk about this stuff here in public. They might be listening. I'm going to have to go pick up some stuff from somewhere. I don't want those snooping student council hacks to get on my case. Also, I don't trust your friend. Nothing personal. Are you sure he's trustworthy? Briefly considered telling Kenji about Rin's gender, but as it might end badly for one or both of them, I decided against it. Yeah, I'm sure. Just for me to win and immediately get the feeling that I have to prevent them from talking to each other with whatever means necessary. There's little I can do now, apart from physical violence. In that case, would you be interested in knowing about the worst threat to mankind since they invented vegetarianism? Just like a vacuum cleaner salesman. I thought it was Sunday.
I see you're not in the know. Yeah, man, I'm talking about man-eating cows here. Very few people know what I know, so I'm not surprised. We can't talk here, but if you like a pamphlet, come to my room after curfew on Mondays or Wednesdays.
Suddenly reaches into his pocket and draws out a ballpoint pen and what looked like a convenience store receipt. Kenji furiously scribbles on the scrap of paper and then thrusts it towards Ren.
Here's the password. Memorize it, then eradicate any trace of this document. Eat it, burn it, dissolve in acid, whatever.
Takes the receipt from Kenji as Ren is unable to do so and glances at it. It's indeed a receipt. Apparently for 2 bottles of rice and 5 boxes of matches. Hope he's not planning to burn anything down. On the other side of the is written just one word.
Honey muffin!
Show it to Ren too, but she shows no reaction. Thank you.
Yo, Hasao, you still in that club? The Club of Dark Arts?
Fine arts? But, yeah, actually, we just had a meeting today.
Still got your wits about you? No shady mind tricks going on? Nothing personal, man, but I have to be on top of things. Can't get caught with my pants down. Speaking of which, you should really take showers a bit later. Gotta respect the personal space. Nothing personal.
Kenji looks around as if he heard something, then straightens his jacket.
Okay, I gotta go scoot before it gets too late. Later, dudes. Good luck.
Kenji takes off rapidly towards the main gate. Rin looks after him, frowning. We watch Kenji's diminished figure in silence. What's wrong with him? Technically speaking, I think he's legally blind. Oh, I see. Oh? I can immediately tell from the envelope that it's not about official matters of any sort. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned, handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like this in this day and age? Anyway. Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, there is definitely a letter laying on my desk. The classes for the day are over, still feeling pretty full from the big lunch that I had unexpectedly eaten at the cafeteria. I returned to my dorm, planning on finishing my homework and probably skipping dinner, or at least just eating light. I feel like I need to eat less than I used to. Maybe I don't use that much energy now that I don't do much beyond reading. However, the letter on my desk has naturally caught my interest. It's the first piece of mail I've received here at Yamaku, so it feels special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter. Which causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanako. Did we get this letter early, or are we just at that time frame? I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanako is the last person I'd expect to want to write me a letter. She loved you, dude. The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward. Embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye and didn't look me in the eye when she closed the door. Might be a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her. Something stopped me every time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. Wanako always had this aura of fragility around her, as if she'd shatter into pieces at the slightest disturbance. Initially, I think it might have been that delicacy that attracted me to her. But after what happened back then, it felt as if she really had shattered. She looked so sad that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and never could figure out the right words to say. Told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been that. Then sooner or later, something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopefully sad every time she opened that door and entered my room. I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully, I open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second year class got put together in class 3-1 for the final year. So we're pretty comfortable right now for the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third year seemed to be very anxious about the final exams. Even though they are so far away, teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I'm actually going to turn this down a bit more. I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years are so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in my exams. It's so weird to think we have already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. Wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. Keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things that I want to say. I went to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after that incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times I visited the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seemed to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like this that happened. I'm sure, but somehow, I got the feeling that you had given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I am really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I liked you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you to not give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. Hope you managed to get back on your feet on your own. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we will meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't? Still, if you'd like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you are doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. After finishing the letter, I folded it like it was and placed it on my desk. I don't know what to think of this. I feel empty and confused. Why now of all times? Just yesterday, I decided that I can't let myself stay like this. That I'd try to get on top of my own life. Reading this letter just reminded me of what could have been. Of course, I wish that I didn't have to be here. I want to be in the same class with Iwanako again. Maybe we would talk every day now and go on dates. My life didn't go like that. I don't really need to be reminded of this. Iwanako needed to write this letter for her own sake, and I'm glad for her that she could. But it would have been better if I hadn't read it. Of course, she is right. That was the same thing yesterday. I'd fallen into a pit of depression and now have to try to climb out. I ripped out a page from my notebook, and after a moment of thinking of how to frame my words, I write a short reply to Iwanako. I find it difficult to be really honest to her, but at least I try to appear somewhat convincing. I don't write to her about Yamaku at all. Doubt she'll write me again, but I don't feel all that sad about it. Fill my own letter to her as I have no envelope, send it next to Wanako's. I'd mail it to her later. Then I lie back on my bed, looking at that monotone gray ceiling. Birds sings outside of my window, and suddenly, gusts of wind flutters my curtains. Some afternoon feels still, as if time has stopped for a brief moment. Think about all the things I've lost and will never regain. I realized the reason why the music was so loud because I had my volume up so high. But that's all for this time. This is Resank the Drug Gamer. Hope you enjoyed the series so far, and I hope to see all you guys again next time. See you guys then.